Hi guys, it's Tia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a first impression kind of review on the new Maybelline SuperStay foundation. So they originally released this foundation a few years ago, and they relaunched it with a new bottle and formula. And so today I'll be trying it out. I picked up a few shades because I was ordering it online and I couldn't figure out what shade it was. So I picked up the shade Buff Beige, Natural Beige, and Warm Nude. And then right off the bat you can tell that Buff Beige is a little bit too peach when you put it closer to my face. So I think I'm in between Natural Beige and Warm Nude. I'm just going to do a quick swatch of my face and see how that looks. Okay, so this is Natural Beige and Warm Nude. You can see that Natural Beige matches my jawline more, and I feel like Warm Nude will be better for the center of my face. I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see if it oxidizes before I apply it to my whole face. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the edges around Natural Beige is drying a little bit darker, so I think I'm going to try Warm Nude for my skin today. So for this review, we'll be using a beauty blender on one side of my face and a brush on the other side. I'm going to do my review a little bit differently. So I'm going to prime one side of my face, bake and set one side, and then lightly dust the other side, just to see how the foundation holds up with different settings. Alright, so I'll be using the Skindinavia makeup primer spray on this side of my face, and I already spritzed it on. So I'm going to go ahead and apply Warm Nude with a brush on this side of my face to see how that looks. And I'm just gonna dot it around. And I think this is about a pump. Damn. Okay, that covered up basically everything. Okay, well, this is definitely full coverage, and it doesn't feel full coverage, so it doesn't feel heavy at all. I'm just gonna lightly tap. It kind of feels like a moisturizer on my skin right now. It does set a little fast, so you gotta move a little bit quick. But if you look at this side of my face and you see all like the discoloration and the redness around my nose, and then you look at this side and you don't really see anything. Alright, I'm gonna go in with the beauty blender side now with one pump again. I'm just gonna dot that around my face. I think with the beauty blender it sheared out the coverage a little bit and it looks a little bit more natural, but applying it, there's no like real significant difference between the two. There's no like streaking or unevenness. So I think you can go either way with applying it. It's just the coverage will be fuller with a brush than a beauty blender. Unless you're going for like a more natural approach, then I think you should use a beauty blender just to shear it out a little bit. But it feels a little bit lighter too. Like this one's a touch sticky, but it's not heavy. And this one, it feels really light where it doesn't feel like I put anything on. So I'm going to go in a little bit more just to match the coverage on the other side. Yeah, even with 2 layers with the beauty blender, it still feels pretty, it feels like, but I managed to get the coverage, an even coverage. But I think you do waste more product with this, but I really like the feel of this a little bit better than the brush. But the brush is a little bit faster because they're just like one and done, whereas this one you have to go with 2 layers. But so far it looks really good. I'm not seeing my pores, any like redness, it pretty much covered up everything. It kind of looks like I don't need concealer, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face and I'll be back in a second. So I put on concealer now and I'm just going to dust my face with e.l.f. Beauty Shield setting powder. So like I said earlier, I'm going to just lightly dust one side of my face and then bake the other side. And then just dusting the rest of my face with whatever powder's left over. The reason why I do this is because I have like normal to oily skin. So when I try a new foundation, I don't try it like, oh, I'm not gonna use setting powder. It's like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I need powder. And just to give you guys a reminder, I am normal to oily. During the winter, it gets more normal than oily, but I would use setting powder. Like, you know, when you're oily, you have to use it. So for me to test foundation without powder, it's kind of just like setting up the foundation to fail, because obviously it's going to work better with powder, and that's what I'm going with. So I just did some light baking. I'm just going to dust it away. I don't usually bake for too long. So yeah, this one's lightly powdered. This one is baked and powdered. This also has setting spray. Not setting spray, it has primer spray. So this is what I would normally do with my face on this side, whereas this one's just testing out the foundation to see how it works more or less on its own without primer. The primer doesn't do anything with application, so there's no difference in application besides the tools. This one was a sponge and this one was a brush. And then check in later in the day. Right now the time right now is 2:44, and I'll check in with you guys later. I'm just gonna finish the rest of my face. Okay, so we're back for our final check-in. It's about 12:30 now. I've had this foundation on for about 10 hours, and so far I'm really liking it. For a drugstore foundation that's on the fuller side, it held together really well. Like, just looking at it, it's pretty much intact. It almost looks like I just applied it. The only difference is I did get a little oily, but it's not in my T-zone, but it's not like greasy. Like, I wouldn't even feel the need to powder my face or blot it. Like, it's just a little extra glow for my skin, and that's how I feel about how I look. Like, just like looking at my skin up close, there's no crease mark underneath my eye, around my nose. Nothing is breaking apart or separating, and like, you can see like nothing's like being worn off. Like, my skin's not peeking through. It's still pretty fully covered, and my blush, my bronzer, like everything is intact. So I'm really impressed by this foundation. I think it's worth it if you're looking for a drugstore foundation that's affordable, long wearing. Cons would be if you're on the drier side, that it may not work for you, or you have to go the extra step on hydrating your skin so it doesn't accentuate any dry areas. And then this foundation doesn't like advertise it being for oily skin, but I feel that it did really well for my skin. Right now in the winter, I'm not as oily as I would be in the summer. So you gotta keep that in mind, that it's winter right now and my skin isn't as oily, but I still do get oily and I still feel the need to set my face. So I think I'm digging this foundation. So I hope this review helped you. My first impression of the Maybelline SuperStay foundation. Remember to subscribe to my channel and thumbs up this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.